Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today we're going to do a really, I'd consider it a special class, a really powerful class around putting ourselves back together again. Putting ourselves back together again. And I feel like everyone at some point in their life can recognize a space in their life where they've felt like they had just sort of fallen apart. And if you haven't, then reach out to me and just tell me all your ways, okay? But for most of us, we have maybe many times where we are feeling, I don't like to use the word broken, but broken, where we just feel like we aren't enough, where we feel like we can't get it all done. We feel this lack instead of staying in this mindset of more abundance. So today's practice is about just putting ourselves back together again. Yeah. Thank you for the hearts on there, because thank you, I'm not alone. I am not alone in feeling like we need moments where we can put ourselves back together again. So I'm going to share with you a really special, actually art technique that I think relates a lot to the yoga practice. And actually one of my friends, and you'll know who you are, reached out to me and shared this with me. I'd actually shared it in a yoga practice years ago. But I always take those little signs when someone shares something like that with me. I'm like, I need to share it again. It's time. So thank you to that person for sharing this. And I'm going to turn us around and we are going to get started. Today it would be helpful, as always, to have blocks and a blanket and a strap. Sometimes my creativity just comes to me as we're going, and I'm not sure we're going to use it all. But blocks and blanket, I feel like in healing, we almost always use. So, oh, look, it's like a ray of sunshine. But it's not. It's a light. But I could pretend it's a ray of sunshine. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to start up on our blanket or on our block. So if you study any of Brene Brown's work, or I don't know, just if you enjoy personal growth, you enjoy kind of diving into things that you feel like help you grow, then I feel like at some point our awareness doesn't make things easier. It makes us aware, but I feel like sometimes we can, which isn't always bad, be blissfully unaware. And then I feel like we start doing yoga practices and sometimes more personal growth journeys, and we realize sometimes we're a hot mess. Anyone? So in Japan, they have a art technique called, and I'm sure I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but it's kintsugi. And so if someone has the pronunciation they want to correct me, I'm totally okay with that. It's spelled Kintsugi, okay, kintsugi. And basically what it is they take art that has been broken, instead of trying to repair it to look like it's new, they use gold to, on purpose, put the art, it's usually pottery kind of art, put it back together that you purposely see the scars in the art. How cool is that? And I'll share an image, I hope I can find it, where it's this woman, she's sitting cross-legged, and she is broken in all these places, but it's like a mold, and she's been stitched back together with gold, and it's just, the light is still shining through. It's a beautiful image. And I think this yoga is healing practice, and any yoga practice, truly, any contemplative practice, is such a powerful way for us to recognize that we aren't broken, and that those parts of ourselves that we've cast out, those parts of ourselves where we feel like we're not enough, where we always should be doing more, we're never satisfied, those parts of ourselves where maybe at one time, we've just been made to feel like we couldn't get any lower, like those points of our life, that those actually were the points where we are starting to build that internal resilience to put ourselves back together. So today's practice is obviously a healing class, and it's just about putting ourselves back together, and whatever that looks like for you in this moment. It just might be I'm kind of good, but I just feel a little unsteady. I maybe have a little anxiousness going on, to something really big. Like maybe you're struggling, you've lost a job, or you're separating from someone in your life, a partner, just all the things. So I just want you to be able to use this practice to hold space for yourself and to feel like you've got this, that you're putting yourself back together. You're kind of putting the gold back in to a newer, better version of yourself. So find a nice, easy seat. Sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. And begin for the first time maybe today to begin to control your breathing. Feel the breath starting to undulate up and down your spine and starting to slow down maybe a little bit. Starting to cue your nervous system that it's okay, we can calm down. So kintsugi is an art form that's been around for about 400 years, so a very long time. And it symbolizes representing the process of repairing things, right? Renewing things that have been broken. And that in doing so, we actually create something more unique, more beautiful, more resilient. So even as you breathe, kind of noticing how you can move the breath into the periphery, from the center of your being out till you almost can feel the hairs on your arms begin to stand up a little bit as you awaken the breath. I want you to take your hands together and begin to rub your palms together quickly, so you begin to create a little bit of heat. Keep going. We're going to, in a moment, cup the hands, so the fingertips are going to go up towards your hair and your palms will cup around your eyes. The center of the palm will be around the eyes, so you're not pushing on your eye sockets. And then when you feel some good heat, go ahead, cup your hands and place your hands over your eyes. You may notice a color, you may feel a certain sensation. You might notice things start to get quiet. May we use this practice to see with new eyes, to connect back into that deeper part of ourselves, where we love ourselves unconditionally. Where we see hope and possibility. And then go ahead and take the palms and now bring them, let your eyes stay closed if they are, and bring your hands, sealing them together in Anjali Mudra. Take a moment to set your intention. And if you want to call out a part of yourself that you have cast out, something that you feel like is broken, and you want to set an intention around accepting that, asking yourself how that experience, may you be open to seeing how there is a lesson, a message, a teaching about the strength that lies within you from this experience, from this quality. And then let your chin bow down towards your chest. Begin to blink your eyes open. And then let your hands come down towards your legs. Very good. Switch the cross of your shins. Place your other shin in front. I'm going to take my blanket out. You're welcome to leave it underneath you if you'd like. And we're going to go ahead and take your right fingertips. I'm going to actually cinch my legs in a little closer. So I'm crossing more at mid-shin in Sukhasana. And then right hand is going to come out to the right. Now, if you have a block and you want to let your forearm come onto a block, go ahead and do that. Always a good idea to open up the side body when we're talking about, we're just putting some glue now, some gold shimmery glue right around the side heart. If you want to stretch the arm over your head, you can. If you want to let the arm just sort of drape, I just let the forearm kind of come right across the very top of the head. It reminds me to keep lifting, keeping the right sitting bone anchoring down. You keep eyes open, eyes closed. Good, let's take 2 more breaths. Breathing in. I love side body openings because they really play in my own body, and it could be different for you. They play with opening and yet I really actually feel myself resisting a little bit of the opening. So it takes me a little bit to kind of like, okay, it's okay. Good. Then inhale. Ooh, reach up through that left arm. Exhale, you're going to twist. Take your right hand to your left knee, and this left hand, you can either take it behind you or actually wrap it behind your back and see if you can catch your right thigh. And then inhale nice and tall. Exhale, turn and twist. Notice my head staying in line with the rest of my spine. I'm not trying to crank my neck to look behind, just it's staying in line with the chest. Good. And then you're going to unwind that back arm. We're going to stay leaning left. You're going to walk your hands over this left leg, reaching your right arm on the diagonal. Now, if you wanted to, you could take your block and place it under the forehead. Let that left forearm come down. Keep reaching, though, through the right arm. Let that arm be active, the elbows lifted, the right sit bone is staying anchored. And you're feeling space, a sense of light that's coming through the back body, through the lats, the intercostal muscles. So as you breathe, notice kind of an inner radiance. Last breath, breathing nice and deep, all the way out. And then walk the hands, stay on that diagonal, just walk the hands up. Inhale. Exhale, turn your torso back to center. Good, and now let's switch. It really didn't matter which shin was in front, we'll just switch it up. And I know we were on this side earlier, but we're going to do it again. All right, left block off to the left, it's probably already there. Left forearm down. This time you are more mindful though about the way you're seated. So you're crossing more mid-shin in case you were a little wider like I was earlier. And then reach your right arm up and over. This bottom arm, it's very easy to sink into it. You're going to push into the forearm, keeping space in the neck. The head of that left shoulder head is going to go back, and the left shoulder blade is moving in towards your spine, it's going in and down. Top arm is going to reach over the head. You drape the forearm over the crown. So there's a lifting. We're going to close down, not literally, but in the pose, right? We're going to close in a couple poses. So this pose is for opening. This is waking up that side body. Keep the torso turning forward. Nice and deep Ujjayi breath. Cueing the nervous system that even though you might feel some intensity here, your breath is staying steady. You're able to establish the breathing in and out of the nose. So when we play with poses that kind of, we come to different kinds of edges, right? Because there's different kinds of hard and different kinds of edges. We start building that internal resiliency muscle. Good, now reach the right arm up. Exhale, pull your torso. Do you feel that? It's okay if you don't, but just do you? Do you feel something? We're twisting right hand coming behind you, left hand to knee, and then you have the option here to reach the arm behind your back. Please only do this, this is a pretty big movement to get this arm. We're internally rotating it. There's no need to rush the body to open. So if the flexibility in your shoulders just aren't there today or very often, just let the hand be behind. Where can you soften? Where can you let your body surrender just a little bit? Now we're going to just unwind that back arm. We're going to keep the torso over this right leg. And then we're going to, if you want the block, move it over. Bring the block underneath the forehead. You can let the right forearm drop toward or to the ground. And then the left arm, though, is going to keep reaching. Keep your right sitting bone anchoring down. Feel the heart continuing to move forward. So hips are anchored, allowing the heart to get a little bit more length away from the pelvis. And then begin walking the hands. Kind of keep the torso as you inhale your chest back up to the right. And then exhale, slowly bring it back to center. Very good, yogis. Okay, so we're going to take the legs. I'm going to turn on my mat. You're going to take your right leg so that you have, it's parallel with the short edge of your sticky mat. It's a 90-degree angle. My right knee is coming out from my right hip, and the ankle is in line with me. So you've got a little L pose going on here. Your back leg, your left leg, the knee is going to come again straight out from the hip, and then I'm going to kick my ankle out so that my ankle is in line with the knee. So I've got two L's here going on, okay? All right, now my right hand is just kind of to my right. You can't see it, but it's just supporting me off to my right. You're going to take your left hand like a C shape, and you're going to cup it around the hip crease. So you're going to inhale, tip the hip forward, and you're kind of helping it, tip the hip forward, and then exhale, roll back. And you're going to notice there was probably going to be a point where I can't quite go any further. All right, so I'm moving the upper torso too as well. So inhale, forward. And actually feel into the hip flexors there with your fingers. You can kind of feel in there. So notice as you roll back, they might get a little bit softer in there. And as you roll forward, they're going to harden here a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the glute muscle too against the thumb. Inhale one more time. Glute med there. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Tip the pelvis forward. Begin to walk your hands, both of them, over to the right, outside your right leg. Get as tall as you can through your right side body. Breathe into the right side of the low belly. feeling some good space kind of coming into the abdomen there. You might notice your skin feeling like it's stretching a little bit just because of the depth of this twist. Keep pushing your inner left knee, outer right knee down into the ground. Good. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. Now push your inner left knee, that's your back knee, down into the ground and see if you can pick your back ankle and shin up. And then lower it down. And then pick it up and lower it down. Again, lift and lower. So you're really going to notice some toning here. Lift and lower. Now the left leg's the leg moving. Perhaps you might even notice some effort happening in the outer right leg. Lift and lower. Let's do 3 more. Lift and lower. Last 2 and lower. Lift and lower. So good. All right, now just inhale. You're going to come through center, and it's just easiest to turn around on your mat because your legs are pretty much lined up. So you've got the L shape. Just kind of make sure my back leg, I need to scooch it back just a little bit. Kick the ankle out so it's in line with the knee, and then C shape around your right hip. Inhale. Now my left hand, again, it's off to the left, just supporting me. Inhale, kind of initiate that twist. Turn the torso left, and then exhale, rock back. Now notice my outer left knee is starting to come up. You're going to try to keep it down the best you can. Ooh, it's a little different, isn't it? Keep your inner knee pushing down on your right leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Notice the knee lifting. Try to keep the outer knee down on your left leg. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Excuse me. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breathing in. I love simple things that feel like, ooh, what's happening here? Exhale. Good. Now inhale here. Take your hands, both hands now, right hand and left hand. You're going to take them to the outside of your left leg. Think cobra. So first lift, think Tadasana. Lift up through your spine. And then exhale, twist. There's a little bit of an arching, right? The lumbar is going in. You're really getting that lumbar curve to go in. Head of the left shoulder moving back in space. Right rib cage, not over efforting, but moving to the left. Pushing both outer knees, especially that right one. Push your inner right knee down into the ground. Keep the inner ankle down as well. Now really take in an inhale. Notice again as you breathe in, maybe the skin feels a little bit taut against the abdomen because of this rotation. Good, and then back around to center. Now hands are just going to frame this right thigh. We're going to push this inner right knee down and lift the back leg up. Oh, and this is my harder side. Okay, so you're going to probably have a side that you're like, no, that's a little harder. So lift and lower. So you're trying not to launch it up with momentum. You're really using those outer rotator muscles. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Let's do 3 more. Lift, lower. 2 more. Lift and lower. Last time. Lift and lower. So good. Okay, come back through center. I want you to keep your feet just about hip distance apart and just do a couple windshield wipers side to side. Couple windshield wipers. Yep. Good. And then circle back around so you're coming to the front of your mat. Let's come around to tabletop position. Already kind of noticing a little work that's already happened through the side body, through the hips. You're going to keep a nice neutral spine. Draw the low belly in and up. Untuck your toes. Make sure your knees aren't too close to you, that you're actually shortening the side body. We can't get the glue, the gold glue in there when we're compressing too much. I want you to take the knees back so you're Side body's long. I like to have my knees about an inch actually or two behind the hips, okay? Side body nice and long. So take an inhale, and now look over your right shoulder towards your right foot as you exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over to the left. Inhale. You're going breath by breath. Exhale. Now, if you want to linger, you are at home. Take some time for yourself. You are at home, but we are together, right? I don't care when you're practicing. I am with you in this moment, practicing with you. And I'm going to bet someone else somewhere in the world is practicing some yoga too, and we are all together. Inhale, one more each side. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, step right foot forward in between your hands. Stay on the fingertips, and if you have two blocks and you want to grab them, you can let your hands come onto blocks, framing around that right foot. So inhale your torso upright. And if you're a little tighter here, you just back off, draw your hips back a little bit more. Okay, you can have any height that you like. Push into the blocks, roll the shoulders up and back. Just let your body take a couple breaths into the front of the left hip. Try not to rush your breath. If your mind is rushing around, bring it back to the moment. Center on a spot, focus on a spot that you can gaze at. One last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now back off your lunge. Draw your hips back. Take your left shin and you're going to swivel it to the left. Well, right. So it's straight behind your knee. Take your right leg. Now I'm going to turn it so that the toes are actually pointing towards the long edge of the sticky mat. Okay? Sole of the foot is all the way down. Now one of those blocks, if you like, can be outside the leg. Variation of gate pose, you're going to take left arm up and over the head. Now if this hurts your ankle because it's a little bit more stretch on those tendons, you can always flex the foot, point the toes up, okay? But otherwise, if you can, stay here, stay with this. Good, flossing, open that side body. Inhale. Exhale. Good, now inhale, bring your torso up to neutral. Exhale, take your left hand down, reach right arm up and over your ear. So big side body stretch. Now we're just going to teeter-totter here, side to side. So I want you to come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, right hand down, left arm over. Inhale up. So we're really also having to use those oblique side body muscles. Exhale, left hand down, right arm over. Inhale, hug to the midline. How slow can you travel up? It's a little harder. Exhale. Inhale. Now feel the pause between the inhale, exhale, before you exhale. After you exhale, feel that little pause. Inhale, come back up. Notice the pause and then exhale. Once more, noticing that pause, really important part. Exhale. Good. Inhale up. Now exhale, you're going to walk your hands forward. So you're getting into that inner groin. Forehead coming down towards the floor or to a block. Some days I like to take the hands wide, almost like a push-up, and kind of feels a little more balanced in my body. Other days it feels really good to stretch the arms out. So you play around with what feels good. Good. And then inhale, come up. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Kind of swing this left shin in a little bit so you can sit behind it. And our right leg is going to cross over for seated spinal twist. Seated spinal twist. Now, if you're working with a knee injury, you're just going to extend that bottom leg straight. Otherwise, right leg is over left leg. Sit up nice and tall. Right hand behind you. Our left arm is going to go up towards the sky. And exhale, start to slowly twist the navel to the right. Inhaling, chest up. Exhale, revolving to the right. Practice being unrushed here. Inhale, left arm against right leg. And use it less to force you and more to create stability. The arm pushes into the leg pushes gently into the arm, and it creates some space for the torso to start to rotate a little bit deeper. One more breath. Really notice the belly expand as you inhale. When you exhale, moving a little bit deeper. Very good. And then slowly unwind. Now, take your hands to the back of your mat, and step yourself back toward either a child's pose, a puppy pose, or a downward facing dog. Okay, so child's pose, the knees are down and the big toes touching. Puppy pose, the hips are up, the knees are still down, forehead down and arms are forward. And then down dog, you are in that upside down V. Take a breath in. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Let it go. No one's around you. Well, maybe like your pet. If you've got kids or a partner, deep breath in, make some noise, let them know mama's, daddy, whoever's practicing some yoga, grandma, grandpa, babysitter, I don't know, anyone. One more breath, inhale, exhale. Good, inhale to the knees. Exhale, left foot forward in between the hands. Now, grab your blocks if you want them. Coming into that low lunge. Second side, lifting the torso. You can ease into this. You can start back a little bit more, drawing the tailbone down, lifting the pubic bone up, lifting the sternum up, sides of the waist long, just like when you were in tabletop. Head of the shoulders moving back, heart lifting up. How's stillness feeling today? How's quiet feeling? The mind's all over. It's like we're trying to fumble around trying to get the cap off the off the glitter glue. It's all right. It's all right. Take another breath. Good. Now we're going to back off. So back off the hips. Back off. Right shin, swivel it behind. You're going to straighten that right leg. Turn the toes so they point towards the long edge of your mat. Reach the arms out wide like a T. And then exhale, left hand comes onto left shin. Reach right arm over. Now, if you're on a hard floor, I should have said this on the first side. Here's where a blanket, padding under that knee if you need it. Keep the right knee, right hip is all anchoring down. Big amount of space here coming through your right rib cage. And then really reach. Turn the thumb. The palm is facing down. The pinky's rolling towards the floor. It's almost turning a little bit behind you. The palm is. So really a big external rotation in that top shoulder. The inner bicep moving back. And they're going to pull up to stand on your shin. Inhale. And then right hand down. Now you could also have a block. Your second block could be under this hand, or palm goes flat, left arm reaches up and over. So we're just going to tick-tock here. Yoga tick-tock, that is, not to be confused. Inhale up. Exhale over. My kids heard the word tick-tock. Mom, you got tick-tock? No, I didn't. Exhale. Right hand down, left arm over. Inhale up. Now we're trying to find the pauses. Where did they go? Here we go. Exhale. Notice your pause. The bottom of the exhale, wait for the pause. Then inhale, bring it up. Enjoy that little moment. Exhale. It might feel really uncomfortable to go slow. So if you're just like, just notice that. It's okay. It's okay. What's on the other side of that? What if you just sit with the uncomfortableness? If you didn't try to run away from it, you just stuck with it. One more. To the front. Well, it's really the back of your mat, but you know where I'm going. Last time, to the back, which is really the front. Can we have some fun in yoga? Pretty please. Inhale. I'm most certain that it just like squirts giant globs of glitter glue into all the broken parts when we can just have a sense of humor. Right hand, both hands underneath you, start to walk the arms forward, forehead coming down. In this pose, again, you can bring your hands back if you like. So many places where the body might be feeling something. So notice where those spaces are for you. Is it the back of the heart? Is it the shoulders? Is it the inner groin? Is it your outer ankle on your left side? If it's your knee screaming at you because it's uncomfortable, then you need padding, okay? Walk the hands back in under the shoulders. Now your right shin is going to swivel in a little closer to you so you can sit down, and left ankle is going to cross over for seated spinal twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Sole of your left foot all the way flat on the floor. Right leg, remember it can go straight. Left hand behind you. Get that left sitting bone all the way down. If it doesn't go down, you need a little bit of height. Use your blanket. Inhale, reach up tall. So if I don't get that sole of my left foot flat, notice what happens to your top knee. So you want the sole of the foot down. Feel like the knee is hugging towards your armpit, your right armpit. Exhale, twist. Now the elbow has permission to hook around the knee. It's a really nice hip opener. If it doesn't want to go to the outside, or if that just feels like too much in the spine, just remember to keep that left sitting bone down. Now remember when we felt the pauses, it was very easier to recognize. It was a lot easier to recognize when we were flowing, breath by breath, movement by movement. Can you feel those pauses so that you notice your inhale? You notice the pause at the top, the exhale, and the pause at the bottom. Very good. Inhale. Let's unwind back at the top of the mat. So hands are going to go off to the right. Lift your hips. And again, you're stepping back, down dog or child's pose or puppy pose. You can pedal out the feet a little bit once you get there. Stretch out the calves and the Achilles. Wiggle your toes. Lift and spread all 10 toes. Set them back down. Lift your armpits up a little more. Spin the biceps more forward, the triceps more down. And then exhale, keep that integration in the shoulder. Melt the heart back towards your thighs. Now lift your heels and slowly tiptoe forward, coming to Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Blocks can be under your hands here if you need them. Inhale. Hands on shins or blocks or the floor. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold and bow. 2 more times. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold and bow. 1 more. Inhale, fold and rebow. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, rise. Come all the way up to stand. And hands come in towards your heart space. Let's just do a half salute just to kind of feel the breath before we come onto the ground. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, refold and bow. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, rise. And hands to heart. Exhale. Now I want you to do it again. I want you to notice the pauses that kind of begin to bring presence to inhale and exhale. So here we go. Take a breath. Inhale. Take a breath out. Exhale. Notice the pause, and then inhale, circle the arms. Notice the pause, and exhale, fold. Feel the space, and then inhale, Ardha. Pausing and folding. Pausing, reverse. Pause to the heart. Feel that difference? Just a little bit more peaceful. We're not going to do it all the time, but all right, inhale. Keep some of that awareness. Reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, your left foot is going to take about 3.5 feet back from your right foot. And I'm going to grab my blocks, and I encourage you, if you have them, to go ahead and grab them. If you just have one, bring it on the inside of your front foot for pyramid pose, Pursvottanasana. Inhale, stretch your heart forward. Right outer hip crease is going to move back. And exhale, fold. Now hands can be on the ground. Fingertips could even turn away from you if you have a favorite variation. If you wanted to even take reverse prayer hands, just, depending on where you are today. I want the pose, though, every pose kind of helping you put ourselves back together again, right? Not feeling like you have to do the hardest thing or feel like you're having to work, but just this is a practice of being. So hard, right? Like, what I'm supposed to do? But no, this is about being. Now, as you fold, without smiling, can you feel the energy of a smile within you? Like, think about smiling. And how does it change your pose? How does it change your breath? Good. Now bend that front knee. Inhale. Step forward. Left foot, it's about hip distance apart. I want you to keep now, straighten the right leg. It was probably likely a little bent. Straighten the right leg. Keep your gaze down on the floor underneath that left hand or on the block. Bend your left knee and reach your right arm. Keep looking down. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, sweep the left hand behind your back for your right thigh. Keep looking down, though, for today. Notice your left hand. Notice the earth. Keep this right leg strong. Big stretch here for our IT band. Along the outseam of the right leg. Nice shoulder opener here on the right side. Release your bound arm. Right hand down to the floor or block. Straighten both your legs. Inhale. Heart forward. Exhale and just fold here. Notice the difference, right to left. We practice the art of paying attention, right? Noticing. Inhale again, lengthen the spine. And now our right foot will step back for that pyramid pose, second side, Parsvottanasana. Push into your big toe mound on your left foot, your inner heel, and wrap the outer left hip crease back. Extend your sternum forward, and then begin to fold over your legs. Some days I get a good quiver going on in my in my right leg, so if that happens for you, it's normal that sometimes the leg just starts to respond a little bit, some shaking. Remember, you can take the variations. If you took a different one with your arms, go ahead and take that again. One of the things that bend that front knee, step forward, Uttanasana, feet hip distance apart. Straighten that left leg, right leg's going to bend. Right hand down on the block or floor, left arm reaches up, inhale. And exhale, option to take your bind here. Now, one of the things that can impede or slow down our healing is the fact that our body so much of the time is in stress mode. It's in fight or flight. Really starting to control on a conscious level, slowing down our breathing. By breathing in and out of the nose, keep pushing into that left foot. Keep that leg strong and straight if you can. Remember, the block is always there. We begin to really affect the nervous system. And as we turn our nervous system from our fight-flight to our rest and restore, that's when healing, that's when renewal can take place. Release your bound arm, inhale. Exhale, left hand down, both legs straight. Inhale, stretch the heart forward. Exhale, slowly come down. Now we're going to come down onto the back. I am going to grab my strap. If you have a strap, yogis, I want you to grab it. I will give an option. If you only have a blanket, give an option to use a blanket too. But if you have something strap-like, it will be helpful here. All right, let's roll down onto the back. Roll down onto the back. Let's rock a little bit side to side. All right, there's going to be some nurturing here for the low back, okay? All right, right ankle, hook it above your left knee. Thread the hands behind the back of your left hamstring. It's a really lovely pose for low back pain. And yes, it's a hip opener. Hips help to release the low back. We've already done several, even seated twist. That can help. We did the deer pose with the hip rolling, the two L shapes. That's super helpful. Lengthen the back of your neck. Gently use your hands to help you draw your left thigh toward you. Without over pushing, you're not trying to use your right elbow to push on your right knee. It's there, but I'm never pushing on the leg. It's just more stabilizing. Good. Now we're going to go into sleeping pigeon. Okay, sleeping pigeon. We're going to let go of the left leg and set that foot to the floor. Now, some of you're going to get more stretch to keep your left foot up off the floor. I like to hold my left hand on my right ankle, and you're going to let the legs come over to the left. Okay? So, If your legs are further away from you and I drop over, I really don't feel it that much. So for some of you, you're going to have to pick up first your left foot like you were just doing thread the eye of the needle. Now hold the ankle and let it drape towards you so that your right foot is coming closer and closer towards your left shoulder. So I like to hold my left hand on that ankle. It just feels a little bit more stable for me, but my left thigh is also helping to keep that foot from moving. Some people like to take their right hand and they'll put it on the knee to kind of keep the knee tilting up. If that feels good in your body, you're welcome to do that. I like the shoulder just to open here. You also could take, it doesn't quite work, but I was going to say a block. Sometimes it just feels like you're having to over effort here on this thigh. So some days I actually, instead of putting it on the knee, I like to always go closer towards the actual body, right? So closer towards the hip crease. And I'll put my hand there. Actually, that feels way more stable to me than putting it up by my knee. Take one more deep breath. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Now listen carefully. You're going to let your left leg, that one's not really going to move. The right leg, though, is going to come up and off. And you're going to set the right leg down. We do this a lot. It's as though your feet are or as wide as your mat. And then the knees went over to the left. It's the thigh opener. Okay? So you could hook your left ankle above that right knee, or you can just leave it on the floor. I'm getting plenty of stretch with it, even not on there today in the way I've got it positioned. So option to hook the ankle. So really kind of getting all the different parts here of that right hip. Keep lengthening your tailbone towards the back of your right knee. Lift your pubic bone up a little bit more. Soften your rib cage in. And now inhale up to center, knees up. Now you're going to take if you have a strap, a very big loop. And some of you really enjoyed this last time I did it, so we're going to put it in again. It's just a really nice restorative-esque pose. You're going to put the strap around the ball of your right foot. You're going to pick your head up. Put the strap right around the kind of bottom where you can feel the kind of lip of the skull. And then left leg can stay bent with the foot on the floor, or you can stretch it straight. Right leg straight. And there's the balance here of letting your head drop back and continuing to push up through your right foot. It's a beautiful pose because it's kind of a giving and receiving, right? It's giving you and you are receiving. You're giving and you're receiving all at the same time. So as we put ourselves back together and you lay back literally and figuratively in the remembrance of the wholeness of who you are. I want you to start rattling off in your own mind some of the things that you are grateful for in your life. Because if we can't start with that, very difficult to move forward from that space of lack. You can be grateful for people, you can be grateful for experiences, you can be grateful for things, animals, jobs, like anything. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be grateful for the workers that help to get the food in your refrigerator, for the delivery people that something showed up that you needed for work, with a smile that you saw on someone's face that made you smile under that mask, even though maybe we couldn't really see it, but we could see it in your eyes. All right. I know we could linger here for days, but can I just take this on vacation? Yeah. All right, grab your strap into the hands. Take the head off. Bend the knee into the chest. All right. So now that we're out, I just realized I did not give an alternative. Straighten that leg out. Take a mini Shavasana. So if you didn't have a strap and you're like feeling sad about it, you're just going to clasp your hand, and you can do this now, like if you weren't sure what to just do right there. You can take the leg. Now, something that's amazing is if you had a door jamb, and I don't have one that I can do in camera, but like a corner of a door where you could have a leg up the wall and then your leg is the other leg is through the door, so that the whole back seam of the leg can rest up the wall, and then the other leg can be extended out into your hallway or whatever. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, so it's a great alternative. I know your head's not up, but it's equally yummy. Okay. So you can pause this if you're doing it later and do that. Okay. All right. Second side. Thread the eye of the needle. Bend your legs, feet to the floor, and then left ankle is going to hook over. Right hand is right. Or both hands, excuse me, right hand to the outside, left hand right between your left and right leg. Sukhi Randrasana. Neck is long, chin is down. There may still be some tingling going through the back of that right leg. The yoga practice is really an opportunity for us to welcome all parts of ourselves back. The parts that we cast out, the parts that make us feel unworthy, the parts that make us feel less than beautiful, the parts that make us feel like we aren't enough. Those are the parts. We call them all back in. And as we breathe, we feel like we're kind of stitching ourselves back together. Sleeping pigeon, let go of the clasp. Some of you foot to the floor first. I like to actually shift my hips just a titch to the left first, and then legs are going to come over to the right. Left arm can open. Also put it on the thigh, or you can hold the foot. You kind of have to play around here. This is an amazing pose when you get it, when you feel all the feels that are there. And it gets into totally different parts of the hip from regular pigeon or from thread the eye of the needle that we were just doing. Gets into the piriformis a little bit more for me, the glute med. I can even feel it in the outside. Keep the left knee pointing up, so if it's starting to fall towards your chest, kind of work. That's why this hand can be helpful. If you're not feeling it, remember, use your right hand to scoot your left foot closer towards your right shoulder. Stay here longer if you have it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep my right leg where it is. I'm going to sweep this left leg back so that the inner knee is it's not touching my right foot, but they're close to each other for that hip opener or the quad opener. You may have to look to see this one. There's not an actual name of it that I know of, but I just call it the quad opener. We typically do it starting with the feet as wide as the mat and the knees fall over to the right, and we're just kind of coming at it from a different direction. And you may too notice that you don't need to hook the ankle. You're feeling plenty right here. And then bring the legs back up to center. Heel toe the feet back to the midline. Are you ready for the yumminess? Okay, so go to the door jamb. If you've got a door jamb, that would work, or a hallway. You also can just, if you don't, like you just have this wall and you don't have either of that, you could turn so that your right leg would be straight and your left leg would go up, and you just clasp the hands behind. Otherwise, some of you, you're taking your, I'm going to get like a rug burn here. You're taking the strap around the ball of the foot. All right, bring it around the head. Make sure the buckle is not on your head. That is not comfortable. And lay the head back. Lay the head back. Give and receive. Give more attention to your breath so you can receive more release in your physical body. Think about that smile without actually smiling. Energetically, can you feel a smile? Does it change anything? You can put your left hand on your left outer thigh here a little bit and just sort of move the outer flesh of your left thigh slightly away from you. Think about someone, something you love, something that brings you joy, that lights you up, that you can feel the light that radiates from within you, through the scars, through the brokenness. I know you want to stay longer, and if you have time, please do. Take your hands to the strap. Let your head come out, but bring your right leg up so both legs are inside the strap. Take a moment holding one hand in the strap. Now, if you're at a wall, just put both legs up the wall. If you wanted to come near a wall and just do legs up the wall instead of what I'm doing, that's great. We won't be here long, but you can stay longer because you're at home. Even if you weren't at home, you could go longer. Take another breath. Bend your knees in, friends. Set your feet to the floor. If there's a final pose that you would love to do, I want you to take that now. Otherwise, as you're ready, I want you to let one leg extend and then the other. Let your eyes close if they haven't already. I want you to take a moment and center your awareness on your heart. In fact, if you wanted to physically put your hand on the heart, you could. I want you to remember that we never realize often our full potential without going through the difficulties, without going through the parts in our life that feel like they're breaking us down, sometimes to the point that we literally feel like nothing, that we've got nothing left. But the sun rises the next day and we wake up the next day and we keep moving forward. Even if our forward is so small that it's unrecognizable. We woke up that day. We put ourselves back together again. You are enough. Feel that in your heart space. Noticing a sense of light and energy illuminating from your awareness in the heart that you are enough. If your hand is on the heart, you can release it down by your side. And let yourself just enjoy a few minutes in Shavasana. When it's time to come out, you will hear me ring a soft bell. Gently begin to open and close your hands. Stretch your arms up and over your head. Bend your knees, connect your feet to the earth, and roll to your right side. Bring your body back upright, folding your hands into Anjali Mudra. spent an hour putting gold, putting ourselves back together with some gold radiance. And as we leave the mat today, I want us to remember that there is no difficult situation that comes our way that isn't without a purpose. None. And what if we could just use these scars, whether they're physical scars, emotional scars, psychological scars, if we could use these scars to create something that is more beautiful, more unique, more wonderfully ourselves. You are not broken. As you step off the mat today, remember this brilliance, this inner light and radiance that is always within you. As you raise your thumbs up to third eye, may the light in me see and acknowledge the love and light that lives inside of you as we honor each other. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. I hope this practice spoke to you in some way. If it did, please share it. Share it. I'm working on getting all these up to YouTube too. If they're not on social media, you could go to my channel, hit a subscriber, and it'll tell you every time a new class is added, and then you can share a link. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you for putting yourselves back together with me. We are never alone in this endeavor, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much. Have an awesome week. I will see you next Monday at 10 and Thursday again for healing next week as well. Thank you.